We start in Japan, where the government has unveiled plans to drastically expand its defense capabilities. In what would be the biggest military build-up since World War II, Tokyo aims to double its defense spending over the next 5 years and install missiles capable of striking an enemy launch site. It also plans to buy Tomahawk missiles from the United States. It's a controversial move, marking another major step away from the country's pacifist constitution that severely limits the use of military force. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida says it's necessary to protect Japan from growing threats from its neighbours.
In countries and regions surrounding our country, a strengthening of nuclear and missile capabilities, a rapid military buildup, and attempts to unilaterally change the status quo through power are becoming more pronounced. Do our self-defense forces currently have the capacity to deter a threat to our country? To put it bluntly, their current capabilities are insufficient.
Well, for more, let's speak with Dan Darling, Senior International Military Markets Analyst at Forecast International. Dan, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So, first of all, does this policy change mark a major turning point for Japan, whose post-war history has been very much shaped by a pacifist constitution, which forever renounced the right to use military force as a means of settling disputes?
I think unquestionably it changes the landscape for Japan. Japan has largely relied on United States protection for its post-World War II security. But with rapidly growing threats, obviously the Chinese military buildup, an aggressive posture in the Asia-Pacific region, North Korea's nuclear weapons testing program, which can be turned into a first strike capability, and in general, the invasion by Russia of Ukraine, it's all combined to become a wake-up call for Japan. So this is new territory, and they are trying to essentially become a modern national defense security nation, one that isn't going to be entirely on its heels, but capable of having its own deterrent.
So military modernization, but perhaps the most remarkable part of the new plan is building a so-called counter-strike capacity, that is having missiles capable of striking an enemy launch site if there's a threat coming towards Japan. But how does that differ from a preemptive strike?
It allows Japan to have the ability to strike back and at distance, and that to date has not been a military capability Japan has possessed. So whereas a preemptive strike would be a first strike, this would be essentially a letting an opponent know, in this case, likely North Korea or China, because those are the two premier existential threats to Japanese national security. It's letting them know that we can hit back deep into your territory quickly and effectively.